Mark here, Action Figuratorium, and today I wanted to do a review of one of my favorite action figures I've had for a while. It is the Takara Microman series Catwoman. Came out in 2004. I've had this for a little bit now. You can find these guys pretty inexpensive on the eBays for around $15. It is a 3.75-inch action figure and has a lot of articulation, and we're going to give you a full review of package and figure today on the Action Figuratorium. Alright, so the package on this figure has got this kind of blister pack that allows you to take it off without damaging the package, so you can repackage this later if you want. It comes with a little booklet inside that I left glued on, and here's the base for the character. The figure comes like this with an assortment of extra accessories, and I'm going to go through all these with you. So let's put this over here. Let's take this out. All right, here is the main figure. This character, Catwoman, is based on the DC Hush storyline. Essentially, she's in the black cat suit with the cool silver goggles that have cat's eye shape, and generally they have a blue set of lenses in them. You'll find some variants on this character both in the comics and in the toys that will have red lenses or green lenses or gold lenses. She also has a large buckle on her belt. There are buckles on the shoes as well. She's got these kind of weird sort of Puritan Quaker boots. There's also a little ring that she has up at her neck there. That's zipper. This Microman comes with, of course, the 2 sets of hands on it, but also comes with 6 additional pair on a little tree, and I don't know if you can check this out or not, but they even included another set of hands that are doing kind of a this sort of thing. I don't know what's up with that. There's an extra head that comes with it that does not have the goggles on, so just the face in lieu of actually making goggles that come off. There, of course, is a whip for Catwoman. Take that out. And she does have a variant pair of shoes that have these little stiletto daggers. And all these parts swap out. The base they give you has both a little peg and a big peg, so it's kind of a universal. They can just put this in with any of their, 1/12 scale or 1/6 scale characters, and it will work. And I recommend the base. So this is a really fun posable figure. The pieces come apart real easy, but they go back together real easy. She sometimes feels kind of brittle when you're posing her, like she kind of moves a little too far, but that's okay because it's real easy to get her back into a spot. I found that I've had a little bit of difficulty with the shoulders in the way that they rotate and the way they are supposed to look anatomically correct. I always seem to kind of spin them the wrong way. They always sort of are showing what I feel the wrong direction at times. but you can make her do all sorts of cool things as far as like bending and looking around. Very bendable midsection, very bendable legs, arms, very easy to get her to go wherever you sort of want her to do, as far as kung fu kicks, things like that. So if you're looking for a character to do some of the cooler photos with, someone to pose, you might consider some of these Microman figures. Now, they made these guys usually in the 70s and 80s, the traditional ones, and you're going to find those are kind of collectible and expensive. But they also started making these again for a little bit in the 2000s. There's a Batman one, and I think there's probably a couple other DC ones. I think there's like a Superman one. So if you're okay with them being DC comic book characters, you could easily pick up one of these guys or a couple of these guys for pretty cheap to get into some sort of cooler photography if you're looking for, like, you know, cool art poses. Now, the hands that come with this are pretty interesting. She's got a couple that are gripping. I have to tell you that I've taken the one that you can put the whip in, and the whip doesn't really fit very well in the hand. It's not very snug. It slides out. It seems to go in the left one a little better. I don't know if she's supposed to be left-handed or not. There's a couple of fists. There's some different clawing type ones. There's this is kind of cool. There's this sort of kung fu chop one. I think we should put that in her right hand right now. Also, I want to say that when you put the hand in, however you put it in, that's sort of where it goes. It doesn't really want the rubber, the friction of the rubber against the inside of the plastic doesn't rotate very well. So if you want to change the position of the hand, you really have to pull it out again, move it, and then push it back in. I actually really like the look of the Hush figure, the costume. I don't like the purple with the black boots. I don't really care for the latest Catwoman in the Christian Bale movies. I didn't like that Catwoman. The Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman is okay. The costume is okay. I don't really want the toy, though. I think that this is kind of the definitive one, in my opinion, at this point, even though she's much, much later in the history of the Catwoman character. But it's fun to get her to do all sorts of crazy things with her arms and hands, kicks, flips, that kind of thing. Here's an Indiana Jones 3.75. The reason why I like to put her next to Indiana Jones is because they're both sort of burglars, if you know what I mean, and they both sort of use the whip. This gives you an idea of how much cooler this Catwoman is, and how you could probably get this one for, you know, I mean, you're not going to spend less than $10 for this one used somewhere, and so for $5 more you could probably find one of these Takara Microman ones. But you can see just how crazy the difference between the two figures are. So what I would like to do now is just bring this character out and snap a bunch of cool pics, maybe with some extra accessories, maybe some other figures, that kind of thing, and see what we come up with.